In 1998, a 14-year-old boy boarded a midnight train through the snow-covered hills of Hallow Springs. He was never seen again. No one heard a scream. No one filed a report, just silence, and a family left searching in the dark. 27 years later, a forgotten rail car was found sealed shut in a derelict depot. Inside, a journal written by the boy and a name scrawled in blood. What you're about to hear is not fiction. It's the unraveling of a hidden network buried beneath steel tracks and government files, and the sister who never stopped searching. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, comment your thoughts and theories below, and subscribe for more true, haunting stories like this. Your support helps us keep bringing these forgotten voices to light. In the snowy heart of Hallow Springs, 1998, the midnight train rumbled southward through frozen silence. Aboard it, 14-year-old Eli Navarro, on his way to visit an uncle he hadn't seen in years. It was supposed to be a routine journey, an overnight ride through the Appalachian spine. But Eli never arrived. There were no witnesses, no stops on record, no disturbances, no remains, just a boy gone missing and a mother's unanswered screams in a cold railway office. The town whispered, a runaway, maybe a lover's escape. Others suggested darker things. The train lines were old and full of secrets. Still, authorities dismissed it. The police closed the file after 10 days. A young girl watched them box up her brother's life. Serena Navarro, 18 at the time, never forgot. 27 years later, Serena Navarro stood at the edge of the rail yard once more, this time a badge clipped to her coat and frost in her lungs. Now a rail security investigator with decades under her belt, she had learned to separate emotion from duty, except when it came to this town. She had returned not for a family reunion or a nostalgic visit. It was a phone call from a rail enthusiast named Louis Grady that brought her home. "I found a sealed car," he had said, "off Track 17, the old maintenance line. Track 17 hadn't seen use since 2001. Rust had taken the rails. Weeds burst through the gravel. But the train car was intact, weather-worn, bolted from the outside. Someone had sealed it shut, intentionally. Serena brought a locksmith, gloves, and a camera. When the door creaked open, the smell hit her first. Rot, rust, and something else. Old fear. Blood still stained the wooden floor. A rusted chain hung from a steel hook bolted into the corner. There was a metal lockbox under the bench seat. Inside it, a military-style dog tag etched with E. Navarro, a faded flannel, and a small leather-bound journal. Serena froze. Her hands trembled. She flipped through it. It was Eli's. March 17th, 1998. "Mom said I should keep track of things while I'm away. Said it helps with reflection. She's been weird lately. Keeps hugging me like it's the last time. Train leaves at 11:51 p.m. I'm kinda nervous. Uncle Mateo's gonna be weird. Haven't seen him since Grandma's funeral." But as the journal progressed, the tone darkened. March 18th. "Something weird happened. We stopped. It wasn't a station. Guy came aboard, tall black coat, face I couldn't see. Conductor didn't say anything. They pulled 2 boys from the other cabin. I heard one scream." March 19th. "I think they're watching us. The tall man's name is something like El Cuervo. El Cuervo?" Serena reread the entries twice. Her fingers traced the indentation left by frantic hands. The last page had a single word, written 3 times. Hold, hold, hold. Serena visited the Obsidian Terminal, once a shipping hub, now an abandoned patchwork of vines, rusted doors, and broken rails. As she navigated the basement platforms, her flashlight caught carvings beneath the planks. Names, initials, dates. Some stretched back to the 70s. DK 1979, LM 1983, Yen 1998. And beside one name, Talented. She climbed into a side office. The floor creaked dangerously. Files were long gone, but beneath a loose panel, she found a key ring and 2 laminated ID tags. Dale Kirsch, Yard Supervisor. Carl Bishop, Inspection Consultant. She recognized the second name from somewhere. An old union report? Back home. She began cross-referencing. In her late father's garage. Martin Navarro, former regional inspector. Serena found 4 decades' worth of railway records. She wasn't expecting to find anything about Eli, but in a locked drawer, she did. 3 documents. A falsified train manifest from March 17, 1998. A clearance slip signed by Martin Navarro. A memo from Carl Bishop recommending unaudited nocturnal transfers be routed through medical freight. Her stomach twisted. Had Dad known? Was he trying to protect Eli? Or was he involved? A memory surfaced. The old family cabin, nestled above Limestone Creek. There, in the attic crawl space, Serena found it, a red ledger, the same one referenced in Eli's journal. Inside were names, codes, locations. Some were marked hold, others move. Eli's was there, alongside 3 others from Hallow Springs. She drove 12 hours to confront the last living name on a freight memo. Dale Kirsch, the retired yard boss, lived in a quiet Arizona suburb. He opened the door with a wary eye. "You're not the first to come looking," he said. "Who was El Cuervo?" Serena asked. Dale laughed bitterly. "You're not chasing a man. You're chasing a shadow. And shadows are claws." Before she left, he whispered, "You're not looking at a cold case. You're looking at a Cold War." The coordinates from the red ledger pointed to Chiapas, Mexico, a rail town south of San Cristobal. The name El Cuervo had appeared in multiple trafficking dossiers linked to ghost train sightings throughout the southern corridor. Serena contacted a U.S.-Mexico task force, one already tracking abandoned cargo routes used for human transport. Her arrival in Chiapas was met with suspicion. The agents weren't sure what to make of her. A railway investigator, not a cop, but she had something they didn't: the journal of a survivor and a list of coded manifests. That got her a seat at the table. Agent Luis Menendez, a seasoned field leader, reviewed the documents carefully. His face paled when he saw the red ledger. "We've seen this format before," he said. "These aren't freight codes. They're holding designations. Some of these locations are still active. They prep for a raid." Satellite footage confirmed nightly movement at an old maintenance depot outside Comalapa. Cars rolling under darkness, no engine ID, no schedule. "This is the black train," Luis said. "Always southbound. Never logged. Always empty by the time we catch it. They struck at 3:14 a.m. on a Friday." The depot was a hollowed-out repair station, disguised with agricultural signage. Behind false walls, cages, rooms converted into living quarters. scrap metal used as shrapnel defense. They found 17 people, all malnourished, all missing from various regions of the U.S., some for decades. Among them, a man with graying hair, faded eyes, and a stitched scar running down his neck. "Serena," he whispered. It was Eli they had taken from the train at a remote stop in Georgia. He remembered screaming, being drugged, waking up in a dark storage car with 4 other boys. One by one, they were sorted. Eli was labeled talented, not for art or sports, but because he could read maps, draw blueprints from memory, fix broken electrical systems. He became a tool. "They never wanted us dead," he said. "They wanted us quiet, obedient, useful." He had kept a journal. Every depot, every face, every American who shook hands with El Cuervo. And the face behind the operation? Carl Bishop, the same man listed on the inspection memos. Once a logistics contractor for FEMA, now turned ghost. Eli had waited for years, gathering proof, helping others escape when he could, but he never thought Serena would come. Back in the U.S., Serena filed everything: Eli's journal, his taped testimonies, the red ledger, copies of falsified manifests. The FBI opened a national task force. Interpol followed. Serena confronted her mother. Did Dad ever talk about Carl Bishop? Her mother's hands shook. She retrieved an old photo. There they were, Martin Navarro and Carl Bishop, standing at a rail checkpoint, smiling. "I thought they were just co-workers," she said. They weren't. They were collaborators. The FBI called it Operation Glassveil. Serena and Eli gave full debriefs. Their intel mapped out a network spanning 5 countries, 28 cities, and more than 200 victims still unaccounted for. Retired train inspectors, border agents, rail contractors, all tied to a 2-decade smuggling ring. Carl Bishop, alias El Cuervo, was located in Belize. He had been living under a false identity. The arrest made global headlines, but not everyone celebrated. Some saw Eli as a ghost who should have stayed buried. Serena received threats. "You're exposing more than names." One message read, "You're exposing the system." She didn't stop. The Senate hearing room was quiet when Eli Navarro took the microphone. Cameras from 6 networks lit up. Serena sat nearby, her hands clenched, heart racing. Eli began slowly. "My name is Eli Navarro. In 1998, I was taken from a train. I was used, broken, and nearly erased. But I'm still here." He spoke for 13 minutes. He recited names of others who didn't make it, showed his sketches, maps of the depots, floor plans of holding cells, shared pages from his journal. "I wasn't lost. I was stolen. And so were hundreds of others." When he finished, silence held the room like a storm about to break. Then applause. A movement began. At the Obsidian Terminal, Serena and Eli stood together beneath steel gray skies. They carried new nameplates, etched in brass, for every victim identified in the red ledger. They bolted them into the wood of the old holding platforms. Each plate told a story, a name, an age, a city, and beneath each one, a word chosen by Serena. Found. She launched a digital archive. Voices from the track survivors could submit their stories. Families could upload old flyers, timelines, photos. It became both a memorial and a map. Months passed. Carl Bishop was convicted. More arrests followed. Rail security protocols were rewritten. Union corruption scandals erupted. But Serena's focus stayed personal. She and Eli would walk the rails of Hallow Springs at dawn, same tracks where it all began. She asked him one morning, "How did you hold on?" He looked toward the trees, then the snow-covered depot. "You," he said. "The journal." A line I kept repeating in my head. "She'll come back. She'll find me." Serena and Eli, walking shoulder to shoulder past the old train yard. It's been cleaned, restored. The blood is gone. But memory leaves a residue. The camera pans wide. Not all ghosts haunt with chains. Some return with truth. Some walk beside us. And some, like Eli, show us the path forward. Fade to black. Some stories fade with time. But others, like Eli Navarro's, resurface when we least expect them, carved into journals, whispered through metal rails, carried by those brave enough to search in the dark. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments. Every perspective helps us remember the forgotten and bring light to the shadows. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more real stories that uncover the secrets buried beneath our everyday lives. Until next time, keep asking questions and never stop listening to the silence between the tracks.